TV coming to you from Miami, Florida. That's right, Island Hoppers. Today we're going to show you the top things to do in Miami. There will be timestamps below in the description so you can bounce around from location to location. Now let's show you one of America's finest tourist destinations. Here we are at Vizcaya Museum and Gardens. This is a historic mansion located just south of downtown Miami. It was built between 1914 and 1922 as a winter residence of James Deering, who is a wealthy businessman from that era. It's inspired by European architecture, and you can see it's a very lavish and beautiful gardens and architecture all around here. Totally worth checking out if you're in the area. It's actually located on 10 acres of land right here on Biscayne Bay. Vizcaya Gardens is open at 9:30 and closes at 4:30, but it is also closed on Tuesdays and holidays. Keep that in mind. Admission costs about $22 for adults. Teens from 13 to 17 are $15, and children 6 to 12, 10. Children under 5 are free. Next up, we're here at Little Havana. This is a vibrant neighborhood here in Miami. Rich Cuban culture, atmosphere, and delicious food. Popular areas around here are Calle Ocho, which is the heart of Little Havana's main street. You can walk around, you'll see there is some nightlife. Mojitos being served all around. Cuban coffee aroma in the air, and cigars being rolled in various different shops around here. I personally came down here and got a haircut, and it was one of the best haircuts I ever got. The food down here you may want to try is ropa vieja, which is a shredded beef, or lechon asado is a roast pork, and then the most popular is a Cuban sandwich. I would say visiting Little Havana in the afternoon or the evening is the best time. Now we're headed to Biscayne Bay. This is the bay around the port of Miami. You can rent a boat, you can cruise around on a jet ski, a paddleboard, do snorkeling and scuba diving. You can also fish out of Biscayne Bay. That's a really popular thing to do. And then there's island hopping. You have Virginia Key, Elliott Key, and then you have Biscayne National Park. So getting around Biscayne Bay, definitely one of those things to do. And they've even got some wildlife out here. Wildlife spotting is something you can take advantage of. Also, you'll notice there's lots of big homes and celebrities live there. Everyone from Gloria Estefan to some of the most wealthy and powerful people in the United States. Lots of Latino billionaires have homes down here. Here we are at Miami Beach, probably one of the most iconic beaches in all of Florida and even the United States. Down here, you're gonna have tons of white sand and ocean to swim in. You'll notice that a lot of people are exercising down here. It's like a muscle beach, kind of like what you have in California at Venice Beach. They have those gyms outdoors, and then they have people rollerblading, exercising, jogging, biking. Just really a place to get outside and enjoy sunshine of the Sunshine State. This here is probably one of the best areas to stay. If you can get a hotel or an Airbnb, I would recommend this as the top place to be. Might be a little bit pricey. You can find good prices though. Next up, we're going to talk about water sports. Now, we talked about Biscayne Bay, things to do, but the water sports, consider this: the jet ski, the parasailing, getting out there on one of these jet boats that you can rent from down there at the marketplace, or a group speedboat like this here, Thriller, which is an amazing experience with a bunch of people on the boat just ripping across Biscayne Bay. Or if you get lucky and have a friend with a boat, that's even better, or maybe you can rent one. Next up, we're headed to Ocean Drive. Now, there's also Collins Avenue and the Lincoln Road Mall in this area, but Ocean Drive is the most famous street in Miami Beach. It runs parallel to the beach, and it's lined with Art Deco hotels, trendy restaurants with salsa dancing and other Latino-style dancing. Great food down here. It is a bit expensive, as I said. The reason it's so expensive is because it's very popular, but people like to come down here and party, listen to the live music, or just take in the ambiance and the atmosphere. I would say coming down here in the evening time around sunset and then staying just a little bit past dark is best, but you can also walk around here in the afternoon. Miami does get very hot, especially in the summertime. Now, this next one is going to be an interesting activity. It's going to the Bahamas. You can actually get a ferry there from Fort Lauderdale and some of the other ports. Also a cruise ship, of course, but going to the Bahamas, whether it's Bimini or Nassau, getting out there and experiencing those islands. The ferry takes about 4 hours. You can go Bahamas Ferry Express, operates between Miami and Freeport on Grand Bahama. And it's about $100 per person. Next up, let's talk about the Miami nightlife. Now, we just touched on Miami Beach, South Beach being a very popular place, but it's not the only one that's around here. You have nightlife going on in Brickell, which is essentially downtown Miami. Miami is very popular with nightclubs, attracting world-class DJs here for performances. You have places like 11 Miami, Story, Space Miami. Those are some venues that you might want to check out. Also, rooftop bars and so much more. Now there's dancing lessons. If you can get these Spanish, Latino style dancing lessons for salsa or flamenco dancing, I would say take advantage of that, especially if you're a couple. Or even if you're solo and traveling with friends, you're still gonna be able to meet people and make friends right here while doing the dance lessons, because there'll be other people just like you who wanna learn how to do the really fun dances. Now we're going to talk about the food down here. So Latin American flavors, Caribbean cuisine, international cuisine from all over the world. But the big thing you're going to look for here, Cuban sandwiches, lots of seafood, stone crab, even oysters and shrimp. And then there's going to be food trucks, which are down by Wynwood. Believe it or not, food trucks are a popular thing and part of the culture out here. Then there's going to be Haitian cuisine. There's also fusion. That combines many of the different Asian, Latin fusion, Peruvian, Japanese, Mediterranean, Latin. All those fusions really make some tasty food. Miami also has a lot of Mexican restaurants, so you can expect tacos, nachos, all that stuff. Now, when it comes to the drinks, I've mostly drank the mojitos because of Cuba. You know, the mojitos are very popular. You're also going to find some margaritas, and then you're going to get Long Island iced teas, daiquiris, which are basically a sugar bomb, but here you can see a margarita coming right out. But definitely enjoy the vast culinary landscape they have out here. Next up, we're at Brickell. Now, this is a vibrant neighborhood located in the heart of downtown Miami. This is the financial district. You're gonna see all the modern skyscrapers and upscale residences. Probably the second best place to stay in Miami if you're looking for nightlife, dining experiences, outdoor spaces. You can also get out here and do wellness and fitness. They have events and festivals going on periodically, as well as the river walk along the Miami River here, so that's another good thing. Many of the museums and cultural centers are also down here, like the Perez Art Museum, also known as the PAM, or the Frost Museum of Science. This place is popular with locals and tourists. Also, much of it is free, so just hanging out here shouldn't cost you too much unless you're eating or drinking. Also, the restaurant's very nice for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Now we're on to Wynwood. This is an artistic neighborhood located just north of downtown, popular for its street art because its graffiti murals are very colorful. Also, lots of art galleries here with paintings, sculptures, and photography with mixed media installations. And then the popular area is known as the Wynwood Malls, which is an outdoor museum. And then you have shopping, you have craft breweries, dining, all of that you can get right here in Wynwood. I wouldn't necessarily suggest getting a hotel here, but I would say that visiting here, especially at night, would be a good idea. The area we're walking around here is called Wynwood Walls, so keep that in mind. It does have an admission fee, and any of these activities I would recommend trying to book online before getting here. The main reason is convenience, but it's also possible to save money on websites like Groupon, or just going to the website directly, seeing if you can get a discount code. But if you're one of those types of people who like to book face-to-face by talking to a tour operator, I recommend going down to the Bayside Marketplace. It's a vibrant outdoor shopping entertainment complex right next to downtown Miami. So you're gonna get live entertainment, boat tours and cruises, waterfront promenade. You can also get the hop on, hop off bus tickets here. So talking to one of these guys at the stands, one of my recommendations if you don't want to do it online. In fact, when I arrive in Miami, it's usually the first place I go because I like to talk to some of the tour operators to see what the latest and greatest activities are going on here in Miami. It is right next to the Casella Center, which is where the Miami Heat play. Also, guys, as we continue to show you around Miami, I want to let you know we've done many videos from across Florida, including Orlando and also the best places to go in Florida. So watch those videos by clicking the links in the description below. Let's keep going. If you wanted to get great views of Miami, you can do this Ferris wheel called Sky Views Miami. It's right next to the Hard Rock, but you're going to get some great views of Biscayne Bay, the cruise port terminal, and also around downtown. Tickets do cost $23 per person, but I'm sure if you go online, you can probably get a better deal for you and your friends, so definitely try that. Also, I've had a few of you reach out to me personally asking how I travel around the world, so what I've done is I've made a masterclass talking about things to know about traveling around the world. I will put a link down below in the description to that as well. If you sign up as a member called an Island Hopper, then you get free access to that until you complete the courses. They're about 4 to 5 minutes long. The classes include subjects like budget travel, food, immigration processing, how to pick destinations, safety tips, how to stay healthy while traveling, being a sustainable traveler, packing for travel, and then of course travel reward programs, which are very useful. And of course, signing up and becoming a channel member supports this channel as we continue to provide this information for you and many just like you. What we're gonna do is another day trip, or it could turn into a weekend trip. This is Key West. Now, going down to the Florida Keys in general is a thing to do from Miami. It does take about 2 to 3 hours to get there by bus. That's my preferred method to get there, but you can take a car from Miami and get there a little bit faster than the bus. There's also an airport, but typically flying from Miami to Key West is not necessarily needed because it's so close. Along the way to the Key West, you're going to get places like Key Largo and Esmeralda Key. One of the benefits of simply just doing a day trip to Key West is you don't have to pay the extremely high prices of accommodation down here, because it does get expensive, around $500 to $600 a night for a basic hotel nearby Duval Street. Duval Street is the big party place, but one of the benefits of staying the night here is going out and enjoying Duval Street, which is certainly one of the most popular tourist destinations for partying in all of the country. While down here in Key West, try some of the seafood like conch or a key lime pie. Next up, we're headed to the Everglades. So if you've never seen alligators up close, now's your opportunity. You got to get out there on one of those boats, and then you can see the gators just kind of cruising around the Everglades. The Everglades is an amazing subtropical wildlife habitat with 1.5 million acres. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and fully protected. Try out an airboat or one of these tours that does wildlife spotting. Many different birds, including the endangered Florida panther, is down here. I didn't really see any big gators on this tour, which we actually booked at the Bayside Marketplace for $45. The gators are, for the most part, juveniles. They seem small, which is okay. I mean, I don't know what I would do if I saw a big one in the water and we just started cruising by, but hey, believe it or not, the bird sighting was one of the most entertaining parts of this whole tour, especially the ospreys. You never know what kind of birds you're going to come across out here in the Everglades, which is really just a big swamp with a lot of different lily pads and vegetation floating on top of the water. We actually went here to the Gator Park. This is one of those places you can actually go to without a tour, and you'll see little baby gators. Your kids can try to take a picture with them. Try to take advantage of the tours out here, these tour buses. They've got the hop on, hop off bus. They've got the open air double deckers. So if you're down here, definitely try to get one of those tours, because that's probably the best way to see Miami, especially the first time. So what we'll do is we'll give you a chance to take a look at what a double-decker bus tour would give you for $49. Now, the city of Miami actually has a population of 500,000, but if you include the Miami metro area, it's around 2.7 million and growing very quickly. Prices in Miami are going up super fast. As far as places to stay when you come to Miami, I told you already about South Beach and Brickell being the top two, but then there's Coral Gables, Key Biscayne, Homestead area, North Miami Beach, even staying all the way up in Hollywood or Fort Lauderdale. It's only about an hour drive south to Miami from Fort Lauderdale. A little bit more low-key and chilled out up in Fort Lauderdale and Hollywood area than it is downtown. Fort Lauderdale also has the area's second largest airport, so you can fly into Miami or Fort Lauderdale, both very efficient airports. Anyways, guys, that's going to complete this episode of Island Hopper TV. We will put a link to our Orlando video as well as best places to go when visiting Florida right here in the end screen. So click on one of those for the next one. We'll see you. A big thank you to all of our subscribers and supporters and our channel members and everyone who hits the like button on these videos.